Hi, HRN listeners. We're celebrating our 15th anniversary, and we have a really fun campaign and an ask for you. This 15th anniversary tour is aiming to bring you closer to unique food and music experiences in some of the most exciting cities in America. All the while, we're raising funds to support our work empowering the next generation of food systems storytellers through our fellowship programs. Here's how it works. Donate to HRN and be entered into a raffle in the city of your choice to win a dinner for two at a noteworthy restaurant and tickets for two to a concert at a prominent local venue. We have incredible partners in New York, Los Angeles, Philadelphia, Nashville, Las Vegas, Charleston, Asheville, and Ardmore, Pennsylvania, who have donated a meal for two and two tickets to a concert of the winner's choice. And all donations help fund our fellowship programs, where we're helping to build essential workforce readiness skills and food system storytelling skills. Check out heritageradionetwork.org/15 to donate and enter to win today. That's heritageradionetwork.org/15. Thank you.
You're listening to Heritage Radio Network. HRN is food radio supported by you. Learn more at heritageradionetwork.org.
This episode is brought to you by Roberta's, home of Heritage Radio Network for 10 years. Learn more about Roberta's at robertaspizza.com.
Welcome to Spill and Dish, a podcast from the Specialty Food Association. Founded in 1952, SFA is the leading trade association and source of information about the $175 billion specialty food industry. We champion the food producers, retailers, and other buyers who make up the specialty food world. If you want to know about membership, visit us at specialtyfood.com. While you're there, check out our new Maker Prep course, a 12-step online program that will teach you how to take your specialty food product to the next level. So in each episode, we want to share the stories behind the products that are made and sold by our members who are helping shape the future of food. You can listen and discover the inspiration, recipe, craft, culture, ingredients, and production methods that help answer the question, what makes specialty food special? I'm today's host, Gretchen VanEsselstyn. I'm the Director of Education and Programs at SFA. We're excited to bring you today's episode and so happy to be working with Heritage Radio Network, a nonprofit podcast network covering the world of food, drink, and agriculture, and expanding the way that eaters think about food. We're joined today by Marisol Villalobos of AMASAR. She has two firsts to celebrate. In 2022, her breadfruit pancake and waffle mix, gluten-free, was the first Puerto Rican product ever to win a Sofi Award, and the first breadfruit-based product to win a Sofi Award. Sofi is our prestigious SFA Product Awards program, and we're so happy to have her as one of our winners and one of our members. So welcome, Marisol. We are so happy to have you on the show.
Hello, Gretchen, and thank you for the invitation. We're very excited as well.
Wonderful. So let's get started. So would you tell our listeners a little bit about the products that you make?
Wow, our products are so amazing. As you mentioned, it's made out of breadfruit, and we're presenting breadfruit as a new player in the food industry. Formally, it's been around for centuries, but now I say we are rediscovering breadfruit. And then the products offer to our clients, to our customers, this great taste, but at the same time, it's packed with nutrition because it's a superfood. But then on the other hand, other two things that are for me very important, it's very easy to use and it's very tasty and delicious on the end product, which can be a pancake, a waffle, a muffin, a bread nut cake. So yeah, it's just very spectacular as an alternative flour.
So how did the idea for the company come about?
Well, it's kind of like a beautiful and romantic story, if you may.
Wonderful.
Yeah, we were in Italy as expats. My husband is a chemical engineer and I'm a microbiologist. But I had been working mostly as a professor and as a teacher. But he was offered this expat position, and we went to Italy and we lived there 2 years on this expat mission of his. My godmother sent me a breadfruit all the way from Puerto Rico to Italy. And the thing about breadfruit is that it's a fruit that's very perishable. It ripens very quick. So you have to like work with it very, very fast. And she sent me a breadfruit all the way to Italy. And it was so amazing because I would get everything. I would get a lot of things from the island of Puerto Rico over there. You know, that Italy, you know, it's just an amazing country for food. And that's one of the places where I learned so much about nice and nutritional eating. The breadfruit arrived perfect. And after that, it was breadfruit all over the place. I went to different activities and breadfruit were here, breadfruit were there. And I said, I think we're going to go back to Puerto Rico and I want to work with breadfruit. And we're farmers, actually. I'm an agribusiness person. We grow breadfruit on our farm, and then we do these value-added products with this amazing crop.
And is it, I'm not so familiar with it. Is it also eaten fresh, and how is it prepared?
Well, look, people know so little about breadfruit. It's part of my mission, and I'm so happy to be here because of that. Breadfruit is cousin, I say, of jackfruit. So it's this type of fruit that it has a lot of flesh inside, but it has a great taste to it. And you can eat it when it's green, you can eat it when it's half ripe, and you can eat it even when it's fully ripened. Have you tasted soursop?
You know, I think I have, and I have tried these jackfruit products that are coming onto the market. But yeah.
Well, it's very tasty. It's a fruit, so it's very sweet. But naturally, but then not that sweet either. So I think it's that perfect like combination, but then it has so much other attributes. It's packed with fiber, unlike other fruits that we may know don't have that much fiber inside the pulp. I think that's part of what makes our product so good in terms of the high content of fiber it offers.
Fantastic. I mean, so you are right on trend right now. I mean, gluten-free products are so important in our market right now, but also really plant-based foods are so on trend right now. Are you finding that you're able to sort of ride the wave of that trend right now?
Oh, yes. We're very, very happy to be doing this. I was always into nutrition I have 3 children, so I was always looking for nutritional things for them and alternatives. And finding a gluten-free flour wasn't that easy. That tasted good and that they would accept, and they wouldn't compare with these other brands that are packed with a lot of sugars and other things. So that was kind of difficult. So I think that since that moment, everything was kind of like combining for me to be an entrepreneur in the food industry. So definitely breadfruit has so much to offer because it has protein, it has the 20 amino acids, but then now as a flour, which is our innovation, it can apport in the area of flours in that industry that's so important, and that sometimes we have little alternatives. Or, for example, almond flours that can also cause allergy to many people. So ours would be a great alternative in that sense. But I say our breadfruit flour is for everybody. But as a matter of fact, on top, it happens to be gluten-free. So then you have this other group of people that can also benefit from it. But it's just delicious and very good for anyone.
And you mentioned that, so you are a scientist by trade. How has what you've learned in that career helped you as you run a food business?
It's so interesting, Gretchen. I grew up in a coffee farm here in Puerto Rico. So my parents were always in that agricultural industry. They had bananas, they had plantains, they had other like yams and other type of crops that we eat a lot here in the island, and other fruits like oranges and lemons and pineapple. So I think in terms of that general agriculture education and exposition, it was there. And I was also part of the Future Farmers of America. So I think that planted in my heart that loving for agriculture and for good food, for good organic and natural food. But then I studied microbiology, industrial microbiology in college, and that gave me the other part of food inequity, of food quality. So I didn't know I would be ending so directly on the food and beverage industry. But I think I was always very mixed to that, very blending into that. And it just happened. I think we also had a dream, my husband and I, because this is a co-partnership with my husband. He was also very fond of agriculture and so on. But we're putting more science into the industry here in Puerto Rico. And I think that's something that we're contributing right now. And having won, as you mentioned, the first Sofi Award for Puerto Rico and also for a breadfruit product, we feel very proud. And I think we're motivating a lot of people. A lot of people are asking about the Specialty Food Association and how did I do to win the Sofi Award? And it's kind of a thing now over here with a lot of fellow entrepreneurs that are working in the food industry. So yeah, the background has definitely helped me a lot.
That's fantastic. Definitely send them our way. We would love to try their products and get them their own statues to show off at their booth. Yeah, it is amazing to see. It's what I was observing some of the Sofi judging last week, and which is going on right now, and just amazing to see the breadth of products that come through. Just the entrepreneurs are continually impressing me. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the business. So, it's one thing to make a great product and it's another one to get it into the hands and mouths of the consumers. So I wanted to hear about, everyone faces some obstacles with their business. Would you tell me a little bit about some of the obstacles you might have faced and even a time when you might have thought it wasn't going to work out?
Well, I would have to mention Hurricane Maria. When Hurricane Maria hit the island, we were 9 months without electricity, Gretchen. 9 months. Right. Since I have a farm, we're in the middle of the island on the high mountains. But you know what? And it was overwhelming. It was very, very difficult. But what we focused on the farm for that moment, since we couldn't do much of manufacturing, and we persevered. But I also think that we learned our lesson. We put in place a contingency plan. And I think every business owner has to do this. It's very important, and you're being responsible with the business and with yourself as well, because it's very time consuming, all these things, if you don't plan them a little ahead in time. So I think we used this very difficult and extraordinary situation to focus even more. And when Hurricane Fiona hit last year, I was back in business 2 days after, because we, as part of our contingency strategy, we decided to invest in solar panels and also to be more eco-friendly. So that was a project I'm so proud of, because right now we're basically carbon neutral at our business. That's something I like to highlight, because it's not just that you're eating an amazing food, it's very eco-friendly and planet loving. So even though that was a very difficult moment, and at a moment I said, my goodness, are we going to be able to continue with AMASAR? At the other hand, there was food scarcity in the island. And I said, more than ever, we have to continue with AMASAR. It's a matter of food security, and it's a matter of having something for our people as well. So that was, even though it was a very difficult moment, at the end, it turned out okay.
That is a great story. How many people do you employ?
We're 9 direct employees, and I'm 70% women employed.
Wonderful.
Yes. And then indirectly, we also impact more than 50 small farmers in the island that also sell us some of their breadfruit. I have our breadfruit on the farm, but I also purchase breadfruit from other farmers that hadn't thought about breadfruit as a crop that would give them an economical growth. So that's something, another thing nice about breadfruit. It was just a crop that people weren't looking at.
So smart. And not that I don't want you to give away any trade secrets, but so could you talk a little bit about how do you create the products from the fruit?
Well, the great thing about our product is it's so natural. It's such a clean label, because all we do is dehydrate the breadfruit and turn it into flour. But we do it so quickly, and we do it so naturally that you keep all of the nutrient inside that flour. And then I think AMASAR has been very innovative with their blends, because my mission was to offer a a product that was very easy to use, because other flours are so difficult to handle. The mixture turns out dry, and it's kind of like a science into it so that you can have a good pancake, for example. And ours is so easy and simple to use. So I think that's something that we're really offering to the market that wasn't there.
And how about a moment of success where you really felt like you'd made it, or you felt like you were for sure going to go ahead with the business?
The Sofi Award.
Oh, yay.
The Sofi Award. Look, I yelled so much that day. I was like, is this true? And I would tell my husband, am I reading this correctly? Because I was kind of like, the email was there, and that was just so amazing, Gretchen, because I did it at first, like, let me do this to learn, it was the first time I was in the association. So I knew I had a great product. And there was somebody here in Puerto Rico, as a matter of fact, the one was the person who told me. He works in the Department of Development of Commerce in the island, and he's the food promoter specialist. And he wrote to me an email, and he said, Marisol, have you seen this of the Fancy Food Show and the Sofi Awards? I think your product has the qualities to be in here. And I wrote to him back, are you sure? And he said, yes, I am sure. So I said, well, let's do it. And I put on all the information, and we did all the process. And when we got that back, that was just such an amazing gift from life that we were just, and it has opened so many doors, Gretchen. So we're very, very thankful.
Oh, I just love hearing that. So how would you say that your brand has evolved since you first started the brand?
Wow, it's evolved a lot. And I encourage all these people in the food industry to be open to changes and to dare to launch a first product. We launched, remember that I told you Hurricane Maria, our plans were to launch our new product on November 2017. The hurricane was September 2017. So it all took until June 2018 when I launched one first product. And I would kind of, we would discuss, my husband and I and the team, are we ready? Do we launch? Do we not launch? And I said, let's launch. We have to put something in the market and test it out. And I'm so grateful of the community of Puerto Rico and our people, because it is in Puerto Rico where we have basically done that product market fit. They've helped me at the first 2 years. We're really understanding if we had that product market fit. So it was that. And right now I've changed my packaging already like 5 times. so we have to evolve. And then the food industry is changing so quickly. I don't know. Well, you must see it better than I, Gretchen, but it's just sometimes overwhelming. So many things that are outside, but for me, it's so awesome, because at the same time, you don't get time to get bored. You have to be on top. You have to see what's happening. And I think we're also very concerned of what we're eating. We have access to so much information out there that people are asking themselves, what are we really eating? And I think that's where the Specialty Food Association really does an amazing contribution, because we're kind of like, giving a little bit of more guarantee on what we're eating and where it comes from and the quality. So I think, that's something very important these days.
I'm interested about the many changes in packaging. So was that to, preserve the quality of the product, or more about like a label color, or what kinds of changes did you go through?
It was definitely the labeling at first.
Labeling.
Yeah, my first intention was the Puerto Rican market. So I tried to put a little bit of Spanish in there and also English. It was too confusing for them. They wouldn't understand. So then I kept on, okay, I said, well, let me go straight. This is a breadfruit pancake mix. This is an all-purpose breadfruit mix. I had to be more direct, and then in Spanish say it as well. So yeah, it was those kind of things. And the things I wanted to highlight at first were ones. Then I decided, no, now I want to highlight that I'm plant-based and that I'm high fiber. So yeah, those kinds of things, because also the recipes. At first, I put in like this very strict super nutritious recipe, no sugar at all. And no. So I said, hey, a pancake has, my products don't have sugar added or salt, because I want the consumer to be in charge of what they want to do with that, which type of sweetener, if they want to put in a sweetener. But in the recipe, I said, I have to put in there a normal pancake recipe. And after I did that, a lot of people said, oh, I love the recipe. It's so good. And it was just a slight change. Just add a couple of spoons of brown raw sugar in there. A normal pancake has it already. So yeah.
Sure. And what would you want people to know, some of our listeners, what would you like them to know about your brand that they might not have heard?
Well, definitely AMASAR is a brand that focuses on this amazing superfood that's breadfruit. And we want to offer nutrition and taste, because I think, and I'm positive, that nutritional things can be very tasty. So that's part of our logo, of what we say. It's nutrición con sabor, that's in Spanish, and in English it's nutrition with tastiness to it, and also that it's eco-friendly. And I think we all have to on board on these initiatives of being sure that even though that we're in this industry that has to do with survival of humankind, we have to also look at how eco-friendly other products we're using, the packaging that we're using, where are all these sources coming from, so that we can have a less impact on our planet, in terms of burning it out, and have a higher impact on the planet of being eco-friendly and protecting it. So I think I really want to highlight those three things. And it's amazingly delicious.
Absolutely. That sustainability mission is so important.
Yeah, we're sustainable. We're a sustainable enterprise. We do fair trade. We're also, we pay the farmers. I'm the one who in Puerto Rico is paying the most for breadfruit. Because as a daughter of a farmer who had to struggle so much in having his income injustice, as I would say, that was something I promised myself. I want to be fair trade with our fellow farmers, and that's something we really take into account.
That's wonderful. So we're almost out of time, but before you go, we'd like to have you participate in our final segment, which we call Take 5, which is 5 quick questions for our guest. But first, let's take a quick pause for a break.
This episode is brought to you by Roberta's, home of Heritage Radio Network for 10 years. Roberta's was founded in Bushwick in 2008 and has become one of the most iconic restaurants in the country. HRN made its home inside of Roberta's in 2009, and together they have become part of the DIY fabric of the neighborhood. Roberta's, the pizza restaurant, is open for lunch and dinner 7 days a week and serves much more than just the famous wood-fired pizzas. Their team dreams up new salads, pastas, and sandwiches on the regular. Roberta's Tiki Bar is alive and well in the back garden, serving up frozen drinks in the summer and hot toddies in the winter. Stop by the bakery and takeout spot next door for fresh breads, sticky buns, and pizzas to go. But Roberta's also extends beyond Bushwick, with multiple locations in New York City and now in Los Angeles. You can also find their frozen pies in grocery stores around the country. The spirit of Roberta's, like Heritage Radio Network, is everywhere. Here's to many more years of pizza-powered radio. Learn more about Roberta's at robertaspizza.com.
Hello again and welcome back. I'm Gretchen VanEsselstyn from SFA, speaking with Marisol Villalobos of AMASAR.
Yes.
So here are your 5 questions for our final segment, Take 5. Are you ready?
Yes.
Wonderful. So what is your favorite thing about the specialty food industry?
The amount of amazing food companies that you just meet. It's just amazing.
That's great. I love that answer. And what is one thing that SFA has done to make business easier for you as a specialty food business owner?
Connecting with potential buyers.
Love hearing that. And if you were not running this business, what do you think you'd be doing?
I would be teaching, or I would be running a company of recycling.
Oh, wonderful. I think, I know you're busy with this business, but I could see you doing both in the future. Who knows, right?
I would love to.
I love it. So what is a piece of advice that you would give to a brand new specialty food business?
We say in Spanish a word that's called prepa. That's Prepa. And it's persevere, rodeate, which is surround yourself of people that are positive, that are enthusiastic, that can push you a little bit, especially when you need it. The E is for education. You have to educate yourself. The other P is for prepare. You have to be prepared. You have to organize yourself. You have to do your agendas. And the A is for ama, which means love what you do. So that's my piece of advice. You have to love what you do. This isn't easy. There are highs and there are lows. But yeah, it fills your heart at the end of the day.
Oh, that is wonderful. And finally, what is your definition of specialty food?
My definition would be that when you have a specialty food, when you eat a specialty food, it makes you awe. And then it nurtures. So I think those are the two things that for me make a specialty food.
Oh, just wonderful. Well, I'd love to give a big thanks to Marisol Villalobos of AMASAR for joining us and bringing her prepa to us today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Gretchen. Thank you so much, and the Specialty Food Association for this opportunity.
So you can find out more about this show at specialtyfood.com and heritageradionetwork.org. And remember to follow us wherever you get your podcasts. Come back often to get to know the people like Marisol, who are shaping the future of food. Special thanks to Heritage Radio Network, the world's pioneer food radio station. This is Spill and Dish, a Specialty Food Association podcast. Spill and Dish, a Specialty Food Association podcast, is powered by Simplecast. Thanks for listening to Heritage Radio Network, food radio supported by you. Keep in touch at heritageradionetwork.org/subscribe.
Hey there, I'm Lee Ullman here with some big news from the National Young Farmers Coalition. We're partnering with Heritage Radio Network on a special season of The Farm Report. It's all about what's happening with the Farm Bill and how it impacts farmers and eaters.
I am growing diversified vegetables on land that's been in our family for 150 years.
And so with the pandemic, gentrification, property values going up, we had to sell the land and we lost it.
Join us as we uncover the untold stories behind this massive piece of legislation that shapes how we grow our food, what we eat, and so much more.
The problems we have had, those are things that come from earlier Farm Bill and USDA policy, right? Like Earl Butts, get big or get out.
You know, it's my responsibility to know not only what I'm eating, but then like how that all came to be, and realize like, wow, like this piece of legislation, all this money, like it's technically something that I support as a taxpayer.
While Congress debates the next Farm Bill, this is not just an invitation to listen. It's a call to action. Be part of the conversation. Subscribe to the Farm Report on Heritage Radio Network, wherever you listen to podcasts.
Subscribe.